everyone. I'm Danel Benitez.
And I'm Ryant Price.
So we're going to give you some little sports action going on here. So right here in Thibodaux, tonight, the big matchup in the Riverbell Classic, 6 p.m. at Guidry Stadium. You know what time it is. We're taking on Southeastern.
Oh, it should be a great game tonight. Both teams come in, they love to play this game. The rivalry is real exciting, and most importantly, it's two great football teams and two great coaching staffs going at it tonight.
Absolutely. So the Colonels, with this win, they're basically in the playoffs for the second year in a row, and the Colonels will have a chance to win the Southland Conference title for the first time in 13 years. Well, they'll have to share it, though. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Very weird, very weird. But hopefully the Colonels are able to come through and get a victory tonight and, make things a little easier for the committee. But in other words, how about those Saints?
Who that, baby?
Nation, the Who Dat Nation. They picked up a big win last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, winning 51-7, and were able to just dominate in every category, whether it be defense, offense, or special teams. How did you feel about that win?
That was a gigantic win. The Saints jumped up early. They scored 35 points in the first half, just like against the Rams. Even though it was on the road this time, they faced a hostile environment in Cincinnati, a pretty good football team.
Right.
They jumped up and they got that 51-14 win. And this week, they got a huge matchup against the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. So what do you think about that with the Philadelphia Eagles matchup?
I think the Philadelphia Eagles matchup will be great for the Saints. The Saints match up well against the Eagles, and the Eagles aren't playing that well this year. I think the Saints will come out early and try to dominate running the ball and then use Drew Brees late in the game. And the defense has been playing lights out the last two games. Well, the first half against the Rams, they were so-so, but the second half, the first half against the Rams, they were good. The second half, they were so-so. But they played a complete game against the Bengals, and I think that confidence will carry over into the game against the Eagles, and we'll really be able to give Carson Wentz and those guys some trouble.
Oh, absolutely, especially with the Eagles losing to the Cowboys on national TV. That's not fun either. The defense, as you said, they showed up because Eli Apple got an interception, and so did Marcus Williams, nearly returned it for a touchdown.
Oh, that would have been great.
That would have really been great with that one. And the Saints are going to have a little more help, too. So you know how we threw up that X? Sorry for Dez Bryant getting the Achilles injury, but we got a new receiver in Dez Bryant and Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall. Could have been Dez.
That's right. I'm sorry. I was just so hopeful for them, but Dez Bryant going down. We got Brandon Marshall, 6-time Pro Bowler. He signed a 1-year deal with the Saints this week. I'm excited for them to use him in the red zone because this dude is 6'5". He can moss people, even though he is 34, 35.
Me too. I think Brandon Marshall will be a great addition, especially like you said in the red zone. He gives the Saints versatility. He gives them that big guy in the slot that they've liked to use through the years. And I think if he won't be anything else, he's just an extra set of hands to have. The wide receiver room is very thin right now, and they can use any help that they can get. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Brandon Marshall can do in the black and gold.
All right, so I've been Danel Benitez.
And Ryant Price.
So we're going to kick it here to Dillan Massey. He's got your Colonel highlights and scores for everything leading up to this year. Go Colonels.
Go Colonels.
Hi, I'm Brandon Thomas.
And I am Shannon Royal with your Colonel football preview.
Saturday, the Colonels defeated Stephen F. Austin 47-14, continuing the win streak.
On the offensive side, Chase Forcade came in with 4 passing touchdowns. He completed passes to Dontrell Taylor, Damian Jean-Pierre, Dejon Dixon, and Gabe Fuseli. Dejon Dixon was the standout guy with 98 receiving yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. And then with the rushing attack, Dontrell Taylor and Julian Gums had 2 touchdowns together.
Going back to Chase Forcade, he was 13-19, and he threw for 261 yards on the day. Something different. They started out with the passing attack early, getting, like you mentioned, every receiver involved. So look to see this next game.
Jumping to the defense, Evan Verone and Corey Abraham both had interceptions, but Evan Verone was also in the backfield.
Sully Lesh, Ronald Ollie, and Hezekiah White put the squeeze on Stephen F. Austin from start to finish. The quarterback could never get comfortable in the pocket, and the rushing attack never got going.
Looking at Southeastern's offense, Jawan Petit-Frere had 85 receiving yards with 1 touchdown, and Julian McArlen had 88 rushing yards with a touchdown. And then on the defensive side, linebacker Isaac Berglund had 8 tackles, and 4 of those tackles were tackles for loss, and 2 of those were sacks. He caused McNeese to suffer by giving up 28 yards.
Join us tonight for the Riverbell Classic as the Colonels take on Southeastern. I'm Brandon Thomas.
And I am Shannon Royal. Welcome back to Colonel Country.